So is it okay now? Is it clear?
Yeah, now okay. Actually, you are telling that Red Hat, no,
Red Hat?
Linux Red Hat, no.
Red Hat Enterprise Linux. We are going to learn.
Actually, yesterday only I installed in my laptop.
Okay.
Just now I tried to enter this meeting, but it is not showing this audio. It is showing that audio as international call, only phone call, and that too US. I am not getting options. Means up to yesterday I am having Ubuntu, Linux Ubuntu.
Okay. Okay.
Yesterday I installed, I removed that Ubuntu and I installed this Red Hat. Means I don't know anything in Red Hat. Just I installed and I tried to log in,
Red Hat
but it is
Enterprise
not coming.
OS is somewhat different. Ubuntu means that is a
Yeah,
desktop OS. Red Hat also you have to
yeah.
install desktop if you want to use. No, server is different. The desktop OS is different.
Okay,
So you have to download only Red Hat Linux desktop OS. You have to download. So what we are going to learn, that is server OS.
okay,
So server OS is different. Desktop is different. Okay.
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 Can you after some time if you send me that link what I have to download means then
Yeah, I will tell you. Okay, no problem.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So we have two types of operating systems already explained you, Windows and Linux. So Windows is a graphical user interface. So anybody they can easily understand, easy to work and easy to learn. So Windows two types of operating systems, client OS and server OS. So servers provide resources to clients. Clients access the resources from servers. So we are going to learn server administration, but not on Windows. We are going to learn Linux server administration. Remember. So Linux is a flavor of Unix. It is a open source operating system. Anybody they can download the source kernel from internet. You can develop your own operating system. I can develop my own operating system. Like that in Linux, we have number of flavors are there. Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Remember, Enterprise Linux means server. OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux. Ubuntu Server OS, Server Linux, Ubuntu Server. Ubuntu is there. Ubuntu Server, Ubuntu. Ubuntu means desktop. Ubuntu Server, Server OS. CentOS, it is also a server OS. Fedora Linux, SUSE Enterprise Linux server, Debian Enterprise Linux, Kali Enterprise Linux. These are the server operating systems. So Windows servers, Linux servers. This is the structure of Linux. Hardware, kernel, shell, and user. So in Windows operating system, shell is not there. Directly user interact with the kernel. That is the reason viruses will attack on Windows operating systems. But in Linux, we have a security layer is there, that is shell. So these are the commands: ls, sart, z, who, tar, grep, cp. These are the commands. So shell will not allow you to run any unknown command. Shell will not allow you to run any unknown program. So built-in commands only it will execute. Built-in programs, related programs only it will execute. That is the reason viruses will not attack on Linux operating system. Now coming to Windows, Windows operating system identify the files with extension names. .exe, executable file, .doc, Microsoft Word document, .xls, Excel sheets, like that. But Linux operating system, no extension file names in Linux. But how the Linux identify the files? So Linux identify the files with the type of file, mode of file. Mode means permissions. Type, mode. Type of file, mode of file. So what are the types of file? Normal file, block special file, device file, character special file, like that. But we have to, some symbols are there to identify this. We are going to discuss in our classes. How do you identify block special file? How do you identify normal file? How do you identify device files? We have the some symbols are there. and also mode of file. Mode means permissions. So by default, whenever you create a user account in Linux, when they log into the server, when they created files, by default permissions will apply. The permissions are divided into three portions. First one is user. User means owner. Second portion, users group members. Third portion, other group members. For example, I created a user account Ravi. So he created one file. The permissions are read, write for Ravi user. Ravi user is a member of AWS group. So his group, some other members also there. They are having read-only permissions. Like AWS, we have DevOps, .NET, some other groups are there. So they are having read-only permissions. So by default, no execution permission on the file. First point. Second point, only write permissions for the user. User group members and other group members, they have only read permissions. So who can change file permissions? The administrator who has unrestricted privileges on the server, he can change the file permissions, or else the user who created, means owner, he can change his file permissions. So normal users cannot change other users file permissions, but administrator can change any user's file permissions. This is we have to remember. Now whenever we are going to learn any operating system, first of all we have to know what is file systems. For example, you open my computer, go to C drive, click on properties, see file system NTFS, go to D drive, right click on properties NTFS. So every state has one language, like that every operating system is one language, that is nothing but a file system. Whenever we are going to install the operating systems, automatically we have to format the disk space which you selected into the operating system supported file systems. First you have to understand what is file system. A file system is a collection of files and directories. Remember, C drive, collection of files and directories. D drive also same. So a file system is a collection of files and directories stored in a defined format on the disk. Every operating system has its own file systems. So every day you are working with your laptop, I am working with my laptop. So if you know, if you don't know, we are working with file systems only. But whenever you come into the administration point of view, we must know what is file systems. General scenarios, no need to know. So everybody, so many students, they are using the laptops, but they don't know what is file system, what are the different types of file systems. They no need. But we are going to learn administration part because we are going to work with file systems. So we must know. So simply, what is file system? A file system is a collection of files and directories stored in a defined format on the disk. Every operating system has its own file systems. We have three types of file systems: disk-based file systems, network-based file systems, memory-based file systems. So disk-based, network-based, virtual file systems means memory-based. So examples of disk-based. So these file systems are used by disks. So disks means hard disks, CDs, DVDs, pen drives, disk-based. So FAT, file allocation table, 16-bit and 32-bit. It is used by Windows clients old versions. So 16-bit or 32-bit means while you are installing the operating system, we are going to format the space which we selected. So it will create the tables, data writing tables it will create. So FAT 16-bit, after that advanced 32-bit. After that, Microsoft introduced another file system, that is NTFS. Just now I showed you. C drive, file system type NTFS. D drive, file system type NTFS. New technology file system. This is 128-bit. It is used by Windows Server operating systems and latest version of Windows clients. Now we are using latest versions. Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7. they are going to use this file system NTFS. Next, ext2, ext3, ext4, XFS. These are the file systems for Linux operating systems. Extended 2, extended 3, extended 4. XFS means also extended file system. So nowadays we are using ext4 and XFS. These file systems are used by Linux operating systems. So simply we have to give the answer. What is the file system type of Windows NTFS? What is the Linux file systems ext4 and XFS? Next, UFS, Unix file system. It is used by Solaris operating system. In olden days we have Solaris OS is there. JFS, journal file system. It is used by IBM AIX Unix. Next to HFS, high performance file system. It is used by HP Unix. Next, VXFS, Veritas file system, used by Veritas Volume Manager software. These all are disk based. It's formatting. We are formatting the disk, whatever the space we selected, whatever the new partitions we created. If you want to write the data, you need to format them. Next, UDFS, Universal Datagram File System, or ISO 9660, it is used by DVD ROMs. So whatever the DVD ROMs we are using, that file system is UDFS. These are all disk-based file systems. Next, network-based. So these file systems are used by network purpose. Network means why we are working in the real-time environment. We have a servers, we have the clients. So as a administrator, the clients which they are required data, you need to share the data. How to share the data? So through network. So in that scenarios, you have to configure the network-based file systems. So examples of network-based DFS, distributed file system. It is used by Windows servers for sharing the files across the network. In Windows, as a Windows Server administrator, I can configure the DFS file system. Different folders I can share to the users. Users means clients. So that is the concept is called DFS. So when you are working as a Linux administrator, so you have to set up NFS file system, network file system. It is used by Unix or Linux for sharing the data across the network. See, Linux environment, if you want to share the data, you have to use NFS. Windows environment, if you want to share the data, we are using DFS. Next, Linux to Windows sharing. Linux to Windows. So Linux is a different operating system. Windows is a different platform. Both are different platforms. Windows to Windows, that is a different issue. Linux is Linux, there is the same operating systems. But I want to share the data from Linux server to Windows clients. Then we have to set up CAFS, Common Internet File System. So it is used by Samba server. So we can call as a Samba server in Linux for sharing the resources from Linux to Windows environment as well as Linux environment also you can access. But the main purpose of CFS file system is sharing the data from Linux to Windows. Next, EFS, Elastic File System. It is used by Amazon Web Services Cloud, AWS Cloud. So in AWS Cloud, like NFS, same. So NFS, EFS, there is no difference. Technical word on server Linux administration server level, we are calling is NFS. In cloud environment, we are calling as a EFS, Elastic File System. I can share the file system level storage through my Linux instances. That is called EFS. We are going to use on the cloud. That is also network-based file system. Next to memory-based file systems. These are called virtual file systems. So first one, virtual memory or paging files. It is used by Windows as a temporary memory. See, what is this virtual memory or temporary memory means? Generally, physical memory. We are calling how much memory RAM. Generally, So what is your system configuration? I will ask the question. I have i3 processor or i4, i5 processor, 2 gigahertz or 2.1 gigahertz. How much memory means RAM? 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM. That is physical memory. Like physical memory, every operating system will use some temporary memory also. From where it will take temporary memory means from hard disk. Some of the disk space it can utilize as a temporary memory. So Windows automatically choose temporary memory. I will show you. Go to my computer, click on properties, click on advanced system settings, click on virtual settings, virtual memory. See, just now I explained you virtual memory. See, click on advanced. See, virtual memory. A paging file is an area on the hard disk that Windows uses as a RAM. So RAM is a physical memory. As a memory of some of the disk space, it will utilize, that is called virtual memory. Windows technical word we are calling as paging file. So 1.280. See, approximately 1 GB of the space it is using. So you can change it depending upon your requirement. We have to change. So you have to change, you have to change, you have to change. Like that, same in Linux. We are calling as a swap memory. See swap FS, swap file system. So just now I explained virtual memory or paging file we are calling as a used by Windows as a temporary memory. In Linux, same memory, we are technical word we are calling as swap memory. It is used by Linux operating system as a temporary memory. But here difference is there. While installing Windows operating system, I am not given that paging file. Automatically it's taken. But whenever you are going to install your Linux operating system, you must provide swap memory. As a Linux administrator, while we are installing Linux, we have to give swap partition. Linux will not automatically take swap memory. We have to select. That is, we are going to see in our installation part how to create a swap partition while installing the Linux operating system. Next to TempFS, used by Windows and Linux. For example, every day I am accessing internet. I am watching the movies, playing the games, whatever it may be, what I am doing, what I am accessing, background, some temporary files will be generated. So you can go to the command, run command. Here you can type percentage, temp percentage. See, number of temporary files will be work background. Actually, if you are accessing internet, if you are watching YouTube movies, or in your computer, if you are watching any downloaded movies, if you are listening the songs, whatever it may be, whatever you are doing in your system, so many temporary files will generate. You can check your laptop now. Thousands of files will be generated. We have to clean that files. But generally, the persons, the students who are using their laptops or desktop, they don't know about this. So many thousands of temporary files will be generated. Then their system is going to be slow. While booting, it is slowly will boot. Then they will come to a technical person. My laptop is very slowly working. It is not booting properly. Very slowly booting means because of so many temporary files. So you can select Control A, Shift Delete. Whatever the files, unnecessary files are there, it will remove. So automatically it will remove. See, the hundreds of files because so every file, every class I am deleting. That is the reason I have less files only. So these are which are not deleted means these are working background because I opened web browser, I log into my mail account, I logged into GoToMeeting. So background some temporary files will be run. Like Windows Linux background, So many temporary files will be generated while we are accessing databases, web applications, web servers, enterprise applications, middleware applications. As a Linux administrator, we have to delete that files, temp files. So CacheFS. So CacheFS is used by Windows and Linux to improve the performance of the servers. Cached files means whatever the regular web browser informations, what we are going to log in Gmail account, Google account, Yahoo account, regularly what we are launching, what we are using, it will keep the information in local system only. So regular communications, the request will not directly go to the server. The request will go to the local system only. These are memory based. So every operating system can works depending upon these file system only. You can remember this point. So every day, if we know, if we don't know, we are working with these file systems only. Next to structure of file systems. So what is the operating system directory in Linux? Sorry, Windows. The operating system directory is Windows C drive. C is corrupted, means OS is corrupted. D drive, E drive data is safe. So if my OS is corrupted, I can reinstall the OS. So I can format the C drive, I can install, I can get back my data. D drive data is safe. E drive data is safe. Like in Linux, so Windows file system layout is drive concept. C is a different drive, D is a different drive, E is a different drive. But Linux, the structure of Linux is tree structure. Tree means slash. So slash is the main directory in Linux. Slash is nothing but a root file system. So slash is the operating system directory. Under slash, we have different types of subdirectories are there. So each and every subdirectory, main directory slash, OS directory. Under slash, we have different types of subdirectories. So every subdirectory has its own compatible data is there, slash etc. Configuration files in location. So where all the configuration files are located in Linux, slash etc. Any configuration, system configuration files, server configuration files, memory related, any configuration files located under etc only. Next to slash bin. The binary executable files are normal user commands. Binary executable files or normal user commands are located in bin directory. Next to slash sbin. The administrator commands location is sbin directory. So normal user commands can run normal users as well as administrator. Administrator can do anything, but normal users cannot run administrator commands. That is the location is changed. Slash sbin, administrator commands location. Next to slash usr, the system files location. USR means Unix system resources. So the system files location slash USR. Slash lib, the library files location. Like in Windows, we have DLL files are there, dynamic link library files. So lib files we can call as a programmable files located under lib directory. Slash OPT, the third party packages location. Third party packages means IBM WebSphere web application, VAS admin software, and Veritas volume managers, Veritas clusters, net backups, third party tools. So all the third party tools, when you install in Linux, they are going to be stored under OPT directory. Slash root, ROOT, that is a subdirectory. This is the system administrator home directory. See, every user must be a home directory. Without a home directories, the users cannot log into the systems. So in Windows, you can go to my computer, go to C drive. Here you can see there is a folder users. In this folder, all the users information stores. Like in Linux, we have the user directories are there, slash root, system administrator home directory. Next, slash home, the Linux user's default home directory. So as a Linux administrator, I can create the user accounts. So when I create a user accounts, by default, automatically the system will assign the home directory slash home. So entry point of view, what is the default home directory of Linux users? They will ask the question immediately. How to give the answer? Slash home. What is the default home directory of administrator? Slash root. Like that, we have to remember. Just now I explained about temporary file systems. So slash TMP, the temporary files location. So as a Linux administrator, we have to go to the directory slash TMP. We have to remove the temporary files every 1 month or 2 months, depending upon the usage of the temporary files. We have to remove them. Slash var system log files location. Any log files in Linux located under slash var directory. So in Windows, here we have the event viewer is there. Windows logs. Like in Linux, var directory is there. Expand event viewer, Windows logs. You can have number of log files will be there. Application log, security logs, setup logs, system logs, like all log files are located. Same in Linux, the log files are located under var directory. Here command line prompt we are going to check. Slash boot, the bootable files location. So all the bootable files in Linux are located under slash boot directory. Slash dev, logical device names. Slash is physical device names. See, whatever the peripherals which are attached to the hardware, means laptop or desktop, the system will give two names. One is logical device name, another one is physical device name. Logical device names are referred by administrator. Physical device names are referred by kernel. Kernel can understand the physical path, that is machine level language. Administrator can understand the human level language, that is the logical device name. Next, slash media, removable media location. Removable media means CDs, DVDs, pen drives. When we attach it to the Linux server, so we have to mount it to media directory. So this is the structure of Linux root file system. But out of this, they will ask the question, what is the operating system directory in Linux? Slash. So I installed Linux with slash because it is operating system directory. If slash is corrupted, means OS is corrupted. What about the data in these subdirectories? What about my users data? What about the root administrator data? What about third party software? What about system files? What about log files? So what about bootable files? They will ask the question in interview. So as a Linux administrator, whenever we are going to install the Linux OS with slash, we can also select some optionals like in Windows D drive, E drive, F drive, how we are going to create additional drives. In Linux also, some of the directories of the structure, so they declared as a file system directories. So with the root, you can also select some optionals. What are the optionals? So file system directories, optional. Slash boot is a optional directory. Slash user optional. Slash home optional. Slash opt optional. Slash tmp optional. Slash var optional. So with the slash, I can also select any one of the file system directories or multiple, depending upon the requirement, you can select. So no need to select all optionals on all servers. So real-time production environments, depending upon requirement, we can select the optionals. But unnecessarily, we don't select all the optionals. So for example, I want to manage user management server. So I can go for slash boot, slash home is optional. Slash is corrupted. My bootable files are safe. Home directory, user data is safe. Third-party package server I want to set up. So I can install Linux with slash boot, slash opt. Slash is corrupted. My third-party softwares are safe, like D drive in Windows. My bootable files are safe. Syslog servers we are going to maintain. Then I can select boot slash var. Slash is corrupted. My log files are safe. I can go for the troubleshooting by reading the log files. I want to set up database server /boot/temporary. So many temporary files will be generated. So I can go for the /temp as a optional directory. So depending upon the requirement of the servers, we can select the optionals. And real times 99% you are not going to get the chance to install the OS, because predefined installation operating systems only they will buy high-end servers. So we are not able to install the operating system. But interview point of view, if they will ask the question, what is the structure of Linux root file system? What is the compulsory partition to install the Linux? While installing the Linux with /, which optionals we can select? Why we are going to use the optionals? So we have to explain. That is the reason I explained this. So this is overall structure of Linux root file system. So tomorrow we are going to see the installation of Linux operating system RHEL version 6, because we are going to put the experience or non-experience also. So previous versions they will ask. So RHEL 6 and the latest version RHEL 8, both installation processes I will show you. Tomorrow installation of Linux operating system we are going to discuss. So if you have any questions, please ask me.
Sir, yesterday what I installed is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.4.
Yeah, that is the OS, server OS.
Okay, then it is best no for us.
Yeah. See what purpose you are going to use. So if you want to going to do the administration tasks, you can go through the server OS. If you want to use like Windows, if you want to like Windows, any softwares, if you want to do, you want to use, you can go for the desktop OS, not server OS.
Okay. Means here I am not finding any my computer like that. Anything not there.
You don't get anything because this is server OS.
Yeah.
That is the reason. Desktop purpose, if you want to use, you can download the desktop version. So we are learning server administration, though you have to install the server OS.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Netaji M. Gowda. Yeah, please tell me, what do you have?
Sir, instead of RHEL 8 or RHEL 6, why don't we install CentOS, sir? What is the difference between Red Hat and CentOS?
No difference. CentOS is the free version, and Red Hat is the distribution version. Nothing is there. So
Sir, I found
whatever we are going to do, each and every configuration on Red Hat RHEL versions, you can do on the CentOS also.
okay, sir. But Red Hat is it is having 8 GB or something like that, sir. RHEL 8. But CentOS is lighter. But which one do you prefer, sir? Like, can we install both? Whichever we want, or is it necessary to install RHEL 8 or RHEL 6?
So no need to say, that is depending upon your requirement, you can install. So
Okay.
for example, this is my VMware workstation virtualization software. So top of this, I installed this much of Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So it's taken 2 GB RAM I given for each machine. But at a time, my laptop RAM is 8 GB. At a time I can power on 8 machines. Sorry, 4 machines.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So by default, see, first Red Hat people, they will start the operating system development on Fedora. After that, they will release CentOS. So if there is any bugs in CentOS, they will fix the bugs and they will release RHEL. That's all. Same.
Okay, sir. Okay.
No difference. Each and every command, each and every syntax, what we are going to see on the RHEL 8 or 6, every command, every configuration you have to do on the CentOS. But first, beginning onwards, we are using our RHEL OS. So both are same. There is nothing is different. It is distribution version, it is free version. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So tomorrow installation of 6 version, 8 version. So how to install OS, how to create. Mr. Arun, tell me.
So you're going to loop me as well in the evening class, right? I was sending the daily session over email.
Sorry, I am not understanding.
No, you'll be sending the daily session videos to everyone, right?
I will not send. Durga Soft people will send every week once they will send that week daily videos.
Okay, okay. I hope they will loop me as well because I was in a morning batch, you know, right?
Yeah, we have, because
I hope you have
so
informed to them.
yeah, I will inform. See, so many batches. I have 10 batches. I will inform them and they will
Okay,
send. Yeah, because
okay, okay, okay.
every day, whatever the recording sessions are there, that recordings are located on their servers only. It will not store in my computer.
Okay, it's like a share, right?
That is the reason I shared my pre-classed videos I sent to you already. I think
Yeah, yeah,
you
that
got
I
that.
got it. Yeah, yeah, I got it. That the installation,
Those
only other installation videos.
all videos.
All
So
the videos.
once
Yeah, yeah, got it, got it.
I will send all the videos, previous class videos, what I recorded. I sent all the videos from class beginning 1 to last session. But
Okay,
regular videos, what we are going to discuss every day, those videos also sent by Durga Soft. Both are same.
Durga Sub.
Yeah, both are same videos, so same configuration, same things only. But that is pre-recorded videos. These are the live videos they will send every month. Sorry, every weekend
Every
they
week.
will send. Every weekend
Okay,
they will
then I
send.
will get in touch with them.
Yeah,
Srinivas, thank you.
so I am also already so many times I told them they are sending every Saturday because they are also busy with some schedules of
This is other
so many.
stuff. Okay.
That I
Okay.
already informed them they are sending. Okay.
Okay, sure, sure. Thank
So
you, Srinivas.
tomorrow we are going to discuss about the installation part of RHL 6 and 8. A slight difference is there. So everybody will be confusing with RHL 8 installation part. So tomorrow I will explain that. So a slight difference. If you do any small mistake, so automatically it will install whatever the commands we are going to practice, whatever going to I am explaining, some commands will not work. Like disk management, file system management, and LVM concepts. So we are not able to practice. That is the reason. So standard installation part everybody is missing. So tomorrow I will show you. So carefully we have to do the installation part of our same configuration only, just a slight difference, slight confusion will come. So automatically it will install. But we have to select our own partitions, how to select customization partitions. Tomorrow's class we are going to discuss. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all.
Sure,
Tomorrow
Srinivas.
installation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.